All right, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm speaking to today, I'm seeing that you're really asking yourself the question, should I stay or should I go? And really reviewing everything kind of involved in that question. However, you might be getting a little bit caught up in your mind, and it's keeping you from really accessing your inner voice. So that's what this reading is going to be about. But before I dive in, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. If you would like a personal reading, I love to do them, and you can book a reading with me at my website, ajstarot.com. And if this reading resonates with you, please take a moment to like and subscribe, as that will help me out quite a bit. So, Sagittarius, your overall energy today is the Two of Pentacles. So that's that question of juggling, of asking something. When I clarified the Two of Pentacles, we got the Four of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. So that's that energy of should I stay or should I go? Or for some of you, just kind of reviewing what happened in some situation, in some relationship. Now, your oracle cards are mind, inner voice, and traveling. So, with the mind card, you might be, again, kind of stuck in your head, kind of reviewing things. With inner voice, that's about your true wisdom, your higher self kind of speaking to you from the depths of in your insides. And then we have traveling. So some of you might be going back and forth between your mind, your inner voice, your mind, your inner voice. Others of you might literally be traveling or on some type of journey, and it's important that you're in touch with your inner voice while you're on that journey. In the recent past, we have the Five of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Three of Wands. So some hardship, but then I see your higher self, your intuition, that inner voice coming to the surface there and kind of guiding you as you look ahead to the future. Let's take a look at the Five of Pentacles in the recent past. We have the Lovers, we have Judgment, and we have the Two of Wands. You're showing me some type of decision in a connection, a relationship, possibly something painful with the Three of Swords coming out. And you're showing me it was very difficult with the Five of Pentacles. It wasn't an easy decision to make, but rather one that you might have felt like you had to. Maybe you were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let's take a look at the High Priestess here. The King of Wands, the Four of Cups, the Six of Cups. Your higher self told you that something wasn't going to work with the other person involved. King of Wands and the Four of Cups represents an energy that it wasn't gelling, it wasn't agreeable, it wasn't working for you. Possibly someone that you felt really drawn to with that King of Wands, but there was some lack of emotional fulfillment. And with the Six of Cups, I'm getting that this is someone from your past for sure. And your higher self had something to say about this energy. Let's take a look at the Three of Wands, the Ten of Wands, the Hierophant, the Queen of Cups. Again, you're showing me a lot of care for this other energy involved, this feeling of commitment, of being committed in your heart to this other energy. Even if there weren't, you didn't sign papers or there wasn't a financial involvement, there was a feeling personally of, I feel personally committed to this other energy. And it seemed to weigh on you with that Ten of Wands. You may have felt kind of confined at some points of like, is there anything else? Is there anything beyond this? And it could have felt hard for you to kind of imagine a future without this person, or to step away from them because of that loyalty that you felt. You also might have stayed in a situation where you were waiting on them because of the loyalty that you had in the situation, when really you knew you had to break away. And so you're showing me that energy of you did break away at some point, even though it was quite difficult. In the current energy, we have the Fool, the World, and the Ten of Pentacles. So you broke free, and you kind of started on the next leg of your journey. And in so doing, you also closed out whatever was going on in the past. Now, for the Fool, we have the Six of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, the Five of Wands. You hit a bit of a bump there where you're a bit confused about how to find your balance, how to find your footing in this new phase. So, how am I going to make money, for example? How am I going to stabilize? How am I going to get back on my feet? And also, possibly, this question of who am I outside of this relationship. So in the past, you had the Five of Pentacles, that energy of struggling with this decision. In the current energy, Six of Pentacles comes in. You're starting to regain that balance after that hardship. However, there is a feeling of fogginess there with the Seven of Cups and the Five of Wands. Some struggle, some internal struggle, some confusion. Am I doing the right thing here? Which way do I go next? Because the Fool energy is one of being very open, but also of taking a real risk and not necessarily knowing, with the Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck, what's coming next. And so that uncertainty could at times be difficult, and I see you kind of trying to find your footing as you navigate the unknown. Let's take a look at the World. The World is at the center of your reading. So the World represents one cycle closing, one chapter closing, and another opening. And so that's really the juncture that you're at in your life. We have the Empress, the World, and the Lovers. There's a point at which you said, I have to prioritize myself. I have to do what's best for me. And that what that means in this instance is closing out this relationship that wasn't serving me. And so I see you both closing out the relationship and prioritizing yourself in the process, and also possibly learning a lesson here about what it means to put yourself first, what it means to love yourself, and what it is that you truly deserve kind of in your relationships. And so this marks a significant chapter in your life. Some of you might have been with this person from your past for a long time, or if you weren't with them for a long time, there might have been a pattern that was showing up in that relationship that you contended with for quite a long time. And by putting a close to that pattern, you're also prioritizing yourself through that action. Let's take a look at the Ten of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles. You're showing me, yes, it's done. Everything's done and dusted, but the path to stability by myself feels slow. It's not all ribbons and rainbows, it's a tough kind of journey with that Knight of Pentacles, and there might be times where you feel like, well, what have I even accomplished, or am I even doing anything out here by myself? But you're kind of in the process of building up towards something by yourself. And just like how you can build up to something with a partner, you can equally build up to something in your own right by yourself. And you're kind of on that path of understanding, what is that going to be? How am I going to get there? And you might not know what the end product is looking like, but the more you devote energy to yourself, the more you're going to find stability kind of on that path. And you're going to find, oh yeah, I'm actually doing okay by myself. In the near future, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Strength card. So something new comes in, and then it's kind of up to you how you're going to receive that. Let's take a look at that Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles. Something comes in and it feels really good. And it comes through as like an opportunity or maybe a communication from someone else. And you look at it and you're like, yeah, this seems good. This seems solid. And it comes with a bit of a confidence boost as well. It could be a financial opportunity for some of you, or something attached to your home or your work. This also could have to do with August, with the Six of Wands and the Strength card here as well. But don't take that if it doesn't apply to you. Let's take a look at the Knight of Cups. the Six of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Five of Cups. This is going to kind of test how much you've moved on from the past, because it's going to require you to be fully in the present. And to be fully in the present, you also have to be in touch with your heart space and kind of aligned and moving in the direction of your desires and what feels good and feeling open and stuff. And there's going to be something that kind of comes up here that forces you to take a look at how much you've really moved on from the past. And in the process, with that Five of Cups, some of that pain could resurface as well, because you're still sort of in process of really working through all of those kind of residual emotions. Let's look at the Strength card. The Ace of Swords, the Justice card, the Ace of Wands. In order to grab the new opportunities that are coming towards you, you're going to kind of have to keep your perspective and your thoughts in check. And that's where that Mind Oracle card comes in, as well as the Inner Voice. Is you're going to have to sift through sort of the complications and the anxieties of the mind versus kind of that intuitive push and pull that we feel inside of us, the flow of our own energy that guides us in the direction of, yes, this feels really good, or no, this doesn't feel really good. And it's important to pay attention to what is truly best for you with the Justice card. And this kind of goes back to the beginning of the reading, because in the past it seems like you made a decision that was very difficult, but you knew you needed to do it. And so it's coming back around and you're kind of being tested in the sense of, can you uphold that decision, or are you going to go back on it because of the anxieties and the fears that you have? And the Ace of Swords and the Justice card, that's an energy of cutting through the bullshit to get to the truth. And on the other side of that is the Ace of Wands, and sort of like, once you're able to see things clearly and, you know, honestly, and work through the truth, you're also able to welcome in something new and clear space from the past for that new energy to come in. But it's all a matter of, with the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck, you kind of overcoming the mind. And in Buddhism, one of the things that Buddhists consider a lot is that our minds are sort of constantly running, and they're going to present lots of things to you. One moment you're going to be thinking about the past. The next moment you're thinking about the future. The next moment you're thinking about what you're having for dinner tonight. And then you're thinking, oh, well, I really like this restaurant I went to, and on and on and on. And at times we can feel like victims to our mind. And so this is a bit of a reminder that you're not a victim of your mind. You can kind of carve out the clarity that you need, but it's going to take strength. It's going to take self-discipline for you to silence some of that and work with yourself and understand that these thoughts are optional and you can kind of tune in and out of them as you need to. So try to remember your personal power and be gentle with yourself as things come up for you, because just because you close something out in the material world doesn't mean that it's energetically done. And if you don't contend with your emotions, it can come up as a really big blockage for you, and then they can kind of explode, and come to the surface. Let's take a look at the universe's advice for you. We'll get 3 cards of advice. We have the Star, the Two of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles. Something is complete in your life and it requires your acceptance. And once you accept that it's complete, there's a lot of healing and there's a lot of freedom that will be open to you, because you'll be free of that past thing. And there's a way that you might be keeping it open in your energy that you're not aware of. Like, you could be looking for closure, or you could be upset. You could harbor a grudge against someone. You could ruminate on the past. And there's something there that's looking for you to close the final door. And once you do, you're actually going to feel so much better. So let yourself close the door. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this helps. I hope this resonates, and I'll see you next time.